Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How's it going? Welcome to the Reseller Show. My name's Andy Lawrence.
And my name's Kev Massive Action Blackburn.
How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to episode 37 of the Reseller Show every Monday evening at 7 p.m. live on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. And let's get session number 37 kicked off. So how have you been this week, Kev? How's things?
Been outstanding this week. Been a very, very productive week. Really enjoying it. Things are picking up. Q3, like we said last week, it's just really just fun at the minute. It's good fun.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all going to plan so far this side. So can't complain. Let's just get the chat loaded up and see who we've got in to join us this evening. Let's see if the regular lot are in. Let me see, where are we?
I'm sure they are. It's the I really enjoy these Monday night gatherings of just like-minded individuals. So if this is the first time you may be watching the show or listening back to the show, we, as the Reseller Show, we talk all things just reselling online, whether you're interested in Amazon, eBay, Facebook, Shopify, doesn't really matter. If you're into selling, making money online, this is a place for you to hang out if you're interested.
Absolutely. That's what it's all about. Any questions, anything you need help with, well, that's what we're here to do. Discuss the topics of the day and help you with anything you've got going on. Now, I just found the live feed and then managed to close it, which is very clever. Well done, Andy.
Yeah, we've got Sean's in, we've got Danny's in, we've got Luke in, we've got Nini in, we've got Matt in, we've got Darren in. It's great to see you guys. I hope you're doing absolutely amazing.
Excellent. Right. So let's have a look here. Oh yeah. How's it going, guys? I've got it. I'm catching up. How's it going, guys? Welcome along. Good to see you. Yo. How's it going, Matt? Good to see you, my friend. Darren's in. How's it going? Excellent. Right, now I've got my chat window in the right place.
I think I'll kick off. I'm just going to kick off a little bit of news from last week. So last week I mentioned on the show, Andy, you may recall, about this whole idea of suspensions, and Adam was suspended. So we did a really in-depth case study on Thursday evening, this Thursday just gone, where we spoke about Adam's case, we spoke about what happened, why it happened, and we came up with something like 33 different actions that you could take to protect yourself this Q3, Q4, and for the foreseeable future, really. This is what it's all about, trying to take advantage of Amazon, but also protect yourself in case the sort of worst happens. So it was an incredible success. It was a 2-hour class that we did, a case study that we did. Every single person that started was still there at the end. It was fantastic. And it was really good. We got some fantastic feedback. So what I'm going to do is I put it in the Facebook group, but later on I'll put it in the show notes as well. If you just go to suspensiondefense.com, that is suspensiondefense.com, you will be able to get a huge checklist. I'm talking, there was like 33 different actions you could take to protect yourself this Q3 and Q4. And the objective was very, very simple. Get that information out there. And then if we all want to have a safe, end of the year, we don't want to do all this huge amounts of work and then something happens in September and, you've got difficulty on getting it back. So you guys that maybe have not seen that before, there is the case study on the website. That is suspensiondefense.com.
Oh,
feel like a commercial then.
Yeah. 90 days money back guarantee. That's awesome. So yeah, that's a good point. John was just saying in the chat here, we don't know where Sean is this week, and usually we have an update from Sean and find out whether he's in Sainsbury's, Asda, McDonald's last week. He was live streaming for McDonald's. I enjoyed that live stream. last week, Sean. Thank you for doing that. But I don't know where he is. He's keeping us in suspense at the moment. So that's going to be hot off the press later on in the show. We'll find out where Sean is this week.
Yeah.
Anyway, should we crack on with some of the news, Kev?
Yeah, we'll crack on with some of the news. What is the news, Andy? Could you tell me?
That's a very good point. I'm glad you mentioned that. Let me find the window that I did actually close down earlier on. I'll just open it up and carry on talking while I find it. Here it is. Here's the news, Kev. Coming up for you right now.
I batted that straight back to you, Andy.
Yeah, well, I'm due one or two, so I'll give you that one. Alrighty, in the news this week. Let's have a look here. So there was something semi-interesting here that a court says that Amazon could be liable for third-party vendors' products. Amazon faced lawsuits over third-party sellers in the past, but always came out unscathed. Now, through a federal court, a federal appeals court in Philadelphia has decided that the e-commerce giant can be held liable for products sold by third-party vendors doing business on its website. The decision could lead to an onslaught of lawsuits against Amazon from buyers who end up with defective products from sellers using the platform. So this will be interesting. Obviously, it's in the US. That's where the company is based, and I imagine anything like that will source from there. But it could be interesting because if this actually is something that they can't defend and they end up having to swallow, it could end up with a lot more potential restrictions from Amazon about the type of products that could be sold. In terms of, I'm thinking more maybe private label products and that type of thing, because they're not going to want to get sued. So it might be interesting to see follow that along and see how it goes, because they're obviously not going to be too keen on that. So if that's the case, usually they stand back and say, hey, this is not us, this is third-party sellers. But if they turn around and say, you are Amazon, you are responsible, then we could see a lot more of Amazon being a lot more cautious with the type of products. So, yeah, I have to see how that goes. What do you think about that, Kev? Have you got anything to add?
No, I mean, it's one of those things where it's a difficult one, because I mean, Amazon, they're obviously not going to like that.
No.
I don't really know the ins and outs of everything when it gets to sort of that level from the legal side of things and what have you. But at the end of the day, Amazon, they're growing all the time. Like, you think Amazon are big now, but we haven't even scratched the surface really on what. I actually think that we're in a fantastic time. All of us here that are utilizing Amazon, we're in an amazing time ever to be alive and utilize the internet, etc. But with that comes, we've got to start. They've got to think about how they can protect themselves against what we are selling. And if they are being told that they're now liable for third-party products, they're going to really look into how they regulate that on their own platform. Again, I don't really fully appreciate exactly how that's going to sort of filter out into anything to us. We probably maybe not see anything for a long, long time, but Amazon, they're always changing. It's just a case of evolving with them, really.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair enough. Kev, I don't think anything would happen. I don't think they're the company to do some knee-jerk laws necessarily in that respect. I think there's probably a long way to go, especially still if it is at the court stage. I'm sure they've got a lot of money for court fees and lawyers and things. I'm sure they'll put up a robust defense against that. So long way to go, but interesting nonetheless to see where that may up. But in terms of what I do, what you do, Kev, I can't really see it being too much of an issue. These are all products that are already almost inert in their fact that they come from a manufacturer. They're obviously very carefully checked and responsibility with the manufacturer. So in this case, with the type of products that you could get in everyday stores, I can't see them really coming back and being biting you on the butt, so to speak. So yeah, I think if anything, it's going to be the type of stuff that you might be importing that could be defective or a bit rubbish or just doesn't
definitely. I think you make a good point there, Andy. I think I've had some questions before in the past. I can't remember the last time I had this question, but for those that are maybe not selling online and maybe listening to this and going, well, how does the whole idea of you selling online work? And an obvious sort of objection could be, or an obvious question could be, well, what if you sell something that, for whatever reason, that person on the other end has some type of allergic reaction or has some type of something goes wrong with this particular item? Are
Sure.
you liable for it? And
Yeah.
the answer to that is no, because it ultimately goes all the way back through the chain, all the way to the manufacturer. So if you're selling something, let's say, I don't know, I'm just trying to think of something on top of my head, like Nivea cream or something, where somebody's put it on the skin and all of a sudden it's burnt them or something. And I guess a frequently asked question could be, well, what happens to you then? Do you need insurance? Do you get sued? Do you all these different things? And the answer to that is no. So
Yeah.
just one thing to, for you new sellers, maybe not in the world of selling at this point, it's just a bit of an insight there for you.
No, it's a good one, actually, Kev. I had this question come up at the Wholesale Domination Implementation Day. There was a few people there that were a little bit concerned about getting sued. What if I sell this and someone comes and sues me? And realistically, I guess anyone could attempt to sue you, and that could be a thing. But in reality, you have to be shown to be negligent in your actions. And if you're doing everything right, as in you're just selling the item, you're buying it, you're reselling it, then ultimately you're buying a product that is the responsibility of the manufacturer. Now it changes if you are importing stuff. That's where the responsibility will definitely change. If you are importing stuff from the Far East, as the importer, you are then responsible for products you are bringing into the country. It's your duty to make sure they are safe, they have the appropriate safety certifications, and you can look that up and make sure that the appropriate ones are done and tested, and you need to see original copies of that to ensure if the product is safe for sale, because then if something does happen, you could, as the importer, be held liable for that. So private label, bit of a different thing. If you're selling items that are already for sale in shops and are legitimate items, they already have whatever safety procedures done to them, been firmly checked and tested, and you've got no problem there at all. Slightly different when it comes to that side of things. But yeah, is there a monster trying to break into your warehouse at the moment, Kev?
No, I do apologise, guys, for the background noise. I mean, I'm sat in the warehouse, so let me just see if I can just show you I'll just make it full screen. I do these lives literally in the warehouse, and we've got a scrap yard literally like across the road, and for whatever reason, they're having a scrap yard fight. They're chucking stuff about. They are making noise. Allow me to go tell them to stop. Because
sure
the reseller show is on. Excuse me.
Yeah, I thought there's a couple of Transformers out there having a scrap or something, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. No, I'm only messing about. I'm sure it's all cool. No, that's fine. We can hear you fine anyway. But yeah, I just
Yeah.
thought I'd mention that anyway. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much finished my point about liability. In case anyone was interested about that, don't be, if you're doing RA, OA or something like that, I really don't see there's any issue that you could get sued. It's not you that is at fault, it's the product, and therefore the product manufacturer. I think you're going to be fairly safe when it comes to that. I can't really see. There is always, you can never be sure, everyone has to stand on their own two legs in business, and who knows, but ultimately I can't see that being an issue. Not legal advice, I guess. If Matt was saying this, he would say not legal advice. Consult your own lawyer if you want legal advice on that subject. But in my personal opinion, I don't think you've got any trouble when it comes to that.
You can speak to the business insurance. I mean, when I got an insurance company to come round to the warehouse because I needed insurance, public liability, people coming into the warehouse, employers insurance, you got employees, etc. They did ask, if you're a private label seller, then definitely look into insurance then. and look at. You should get all the certification and everything from your manufacturer anyway.
Yeah.
But speak to insurances and things. Then that's probably the best we can say at that point, Andy.
Yeah, I think that's fair enough. All right.
So we've got some great news to share. So I say news, just this bit of a celebration, really. We mentioned on the show, if there's anybody that has a fantastic breakthrough, you achieve a goal, you've got some type of success, please do share it on the show. Share it in the Facebook group, because success breeds success, and that's what we like to share. And there was Jerry. We had a great post from Jerry White. So shout out to Jerry, basically saying that it was really nice comment, actually. And I love Jerry. He's such a nice guy.
He's a great guy.
Yeah, such a valuable member of our community. And he basically just said, "Hi, folks. I would like to let you know that on the 5th of July," it was quite a big post, but he basically had an amazing day. And in the last 24 hours, he was able to open 2 wholesale accounts with 2 massive wholesalers across the UK, which is amazing. He was basically going on to say that it was just pure grit and determination that got him through. He didn't think it was going to happen. He visited the wholesalers 3 times. He goes on to say that he basically, from November last year, when we did that live reseller show here in the warehouse, Andy, he was basically saying that that's when he first met us, and he just wanted to say a massive thank you to me and you for helping him. And it was just a fantastic day all around. So shout out to Jerry, top man.
Yeah, awesome. Really, really great to hear those sorts of things. And it was good to meet Jerry at the warehouse there. And it's always great to hear those sort of stories, things coming off, and just goes to show you put that consistent effort and energy in. Sometimes it's more of an effort, sometimes it's less than an effort, but you keep it coming. Keep taking action. You're going to get results. So yeah, really good to see a reseller show regular making real progress. So yeah, really pleased for you. Good stuff.
Just a couple more shout outs. We've had some more people join. We've got a fun art. I'm not 100% sure what your name is. Fun art. Luke S. Good to see you. We've got Jonathan. We've got Luke. iGen Entrepreneur. Good to see you. We've got Maureen in. We've got Mark. We've got Noah. Good to see you. We've got Lucas. We've got lots of different Lukes tonight.
Yeah, many Lukes.
We've got the butt picker in.
Yeah.
Good to see you guys. Thanks for joining.
A full brace of Lukes. That's good to see. And I've been reliably told, I must say, that I've been calling Noah, and you've been calling Noah, but apparently it's Noha. You pronounce the H. Oh. So apparently Noah is a boy's name, and Noah isn't a boy. So we should call her Noha. No. That is your name. So I apologize, Noha, for the probably 6 months I've been calling you the wrong name.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, I spoke to her just earlier on, so I do apologize if I'm terrible with names. By the way, I'm just going to in future, disclaimer, I'm apologizing in advance. If I ever butcher anybody's name, then I am so sorry.
I think that goes without saying. Yeah, she says she's used to it. I'm sure it's natural probably for us to go for the Noah rather than Noha, but it's always good to know how you're supposed to pronounce these things. So thanks for that. Alrighty, yeah. So great bunch of guys in here, and there is news. We have actually got a live stream from Sean. He is in nowhere special, I'm afraid, today. I can see from his live stream, it looks like he's in his car, in his garden. So but thanks for the live stream, Sean. All the same, there may be I can't listen to your video, I'm afraid, Sean, because I'm live on the interwebs, but you may be talking on that video. But all I can say, it might be a park, slightly more disturbing, but anyway, he's in his car somewhere and there's grass. But anyway, that's for all you regulars, that's where Sean is today. If he's in a play park in his car, that just seems weird. But anyway,
Yeah.
moving on.
Yeah. If you guys that are joining us live, if you guys have got any topics, any questions, don't hesitate to throw them in the chat. We will cover them. That's what this is all about. It's we try to just go back and forth with you guys and just share our opinions. But shall we go on to some of the questions, Andy?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So we've got one from Simon, friend of the show as well. Thank you, Simon, for your question. He says, I guess most of you have had the email titled Worldwide FBA Export Automatic Enrollment regarding a new worldwide shipping program. It seems we only pay the normal FBA fulfillment costs and not the extra postage for delivery or returns? Question mark. Is this something anyone is considering? Or are we opening a can of worms for items that that are not allowed to be sold in certain countries, etc.? More IP infringements. Any thoughts? So yeah, this is quite an interesting one, but I think it's always tricky. People cringe a little bit when there's a new fulfillment program because with all the things with pan-Euro shipments and stuff like this, people get a little bit sort of tetchy. What tax implications are they going to be? You know, and Amazon always keen to promote stuff and not always obvious about what implications that has to the business. So, I mean, I'm always like to see how things pan out first. I'm definitely not an early adopter when it comes to these sorts of things. Maybe there is some benefit to sort of jumping on something straight away, but also you could actually end up having a detrimental effect as well. So personally, I don't know about you, Kev, but I like to sit back and wait and see how things develop, get people's opinions about something, maybe get some tax advice as well, and see how things go, because it can be a can of worms, as Simon says. So yeah, I don't know what what opinion you have on that, Kev.
I've got a couple of thoughts. Whenever Amazon they come out with any type of new program, and whenever there's sort of an automated enrollment process, that always gives me some question marks because I'm always thinking, okay, is this in some way benefiting Amazon? Because up until this point, and I don't like to talk negatively about Amazon, and I don't very often do that because I just feel that Amazon they've certainly given me this opportunity, they give us this opportunity, but there are some things that they do that's maybe not in the best favor of us as sellers. When it comes to this worldwide, we mentioned a couple of, I can't remember what episode it was, but we did mention that the future is heading worldwide in terms of at sometime in the very near future, because of the size Amazon are and the amazing sort of growth that they've had in the last sort of couple of decades, you will be able to sell something like from here and you will get your product to somebody in Brazil or your product to somebody in Thailand or Australia or South Africa or whatever it is. So that's definitely a step in that direction, just as we were sort of talking about. The one thing that does sort of make me feel a little bit like, oh, this is quite interesting actually, is from a whole VAT point of view, because when you, and this is not accounting advice, this is not please do seek legal advice, but from a VAT point of view. Like if you was to make a sale, if you was to get a customer from like outside the EU as it stands at this point, you don't actually pay VAT, which is actually quite interesting then, because if you let's say you started selling in India, that's a benefit to your business at that point. Now I don't know the fees. I don't know, Amazon, they'll say that there's no changes to the fees. I would print out the entire fee document and I'd just go through that with a magnifying glass because it can be quite confusing. Like, it's bad enough just pan EU trying to work out what all the different fees are, not to mention like you're now selling worldwide. So I would just do that, but it definitely intrigues me, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Is this light really bright?
It seems quite bright. It does seem quite bright.
Let me just turn it off because it's like I'm being like blinded.
Okay, so what's Luke got to say? Easy.
I just fell
Careful.
over.
Accident in the workplace. We don't want to see any of that. Let's get the first aid book out.
Oh my god.
Oh dear. So what does Luke say? FIMP. That's probably a swearing euphemism. So I'm not even going to try and guess what that means. I don't believe that will work as they're classed as. Okay, that's probably not the. I thought Luke was replying to your comment there, Kev, but I think he's actually replying to someone else. So,
Oh.
we got. Oh yes, fingers in many pies. Oh, okay, that's what it is. FIMP. I'm glad that's what it is. So fingers in many pies would be nice to know your first name. Can you use Costco wholesale for invoices to get ungated in categories that you're not allowed to sell in? Good question. And Luke has answered fingers in many pies. I don't believe that will work as their class as cash and carry rather than wholesaler. That's what I would say as well. Correct. But there are probably some easier wholesalers to get into than others. So certainly worth sort of seeking out some online wholesalers that were are quite easy to get into, not necessarily going to make you a lot of money with the items, but easy to get into, which will you can make use of those invoices to get you ungated in certain categories, and then you either use the products you've ordered as the cost of getting you into those items and just use them yourself, or sell them and break even, or whatever you need to do to make that work. But yeah, there are some wholesalers that make that easier. So yeah, Costco, I would say no, as you say, more of a cash and carry rather than a wholesaler. Yeah, can you think of any of the online wholesalers off the top of your head that are easy to get into that you can use for ungating? I was just about to say a few. I can't think of one.
Harrison's Direct.
That's the one. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah, Harrison, probably a good one to crack on with. FIMP. If you want to have a crack at that, there you go. John's on the case. Harrison's Direct. Well done, John.
I got there first, Jonathan. I got there first.
Well, he might have written first. But
I'm kidding.
Excellent. Well done, John. Yes, you saved me from a total head blank there. So yeah, have a crack at Harrison's. They're if they are selling the type of stuff that is in the category that you want to use, then give them a go. Easy to get accounts, easy to make orders, get some stuff for the missus and for the general house, and yeah, get your invoices and get yourself going. I'm not typing it's fair. That's what I said. I had your back there, John. Yeah, that's fair. All right, okay. Moving on. All right, so what have we got? Have we got any more questions? Or don't forget, guys, keep your questions coming, because we're a little light on questions this week. So if you need to know anything, let us know.
Yeah, we got. There was a question from Sean, and he said that have been trying to look for this exact same bucket cheap in the UK, but can't find it cheap to order anywhere. And this bucket was basically it was like a Bud Light bucket. This is what he's put in the post. When you search for a product, do you use more than just Google to search for products?
Yeah, that's an interesting question, actually. But I mean, when you say when you search for a product, I'm not sure. So you're going to search deliberately. So if you're searching from the product side of things to sell the product, you're looking for a specific product to sell. Because I'm generally looking for suppliers, and then find those suppliers, and then look for the products that are going to make the money within those suppliers. But it's interesting, you can flip it around that way and find products that are selling very well, and then try and find the suppliers for that product. But that's a totally different way of doing it. Here's a tip for you then, Sean, my boy, as you're here on every single show, and such a good sport in your van, in your garden. If that item, have a look. This might not apply to your Bud Light bucket, but if you've got an item like that and you need to search and you need to find, I'm guessing you need to find the supplier of that product. That's what I'm guessing you're asking with that question. You search for products for more than one. That's what I'm going to say you're looking for. You're looking for a supplier for that product. Look where the barcode is. Look down around about the back of a product packaging, usually there's a barcode and a load of very small information that nobody ever reads. And down there by the barcode, you will find often the manufacturer. You will often find the distributor as well for your country, and quite often you'll find the wholesaler. And at least one of those items, that information there, you can Google that particular company. And if that company can't help you, can't supply you, they can almost always give you the name of the company that can. So you might end up with a manufacturer. Generally, they won't supply you. Manufacturers manufacture, and distributors and wholesalers actually supply. They're further down the line. But if you get in touch, if all you've got is in the manufacturer, get in touch with them and say, please, can you tell me the UK distributor for your product? And hopefully, if they're nice, they'll email you back and they'll say, yes, certainly, sir, the UK distributor for our product is X and X distribution. This is the address, this is the phone number, this is the email address, this is the name of the person you need to contact. And you can contact the person and say, I'm interested in a supply of your Bud Light buckets. I need 5-quart ice cream, and I've got a wholesale amount of ice cream I need to eat in your buckets. So could you supply me with a wholesale amount? And yeah, so that's a way you could do that.
I think that deserves a bit of a golden nugget, a golden nugget bell, that Andy, because I think it got me because that is outstanding knowledge right there, dropped on the Reseller Show. So give yourself a bell.
I thank you all. That's a good one.
No, I mean that's gold. That it is gold. It's fantastic. It's a when you're doing reverse searching there.
That's what that is.
Sean, you're doing reverse searching. Basically, you're looking at an item, and you can be very, very successful when it comes to instead of going from a supplier side of things. So you're finding a supplier, seeing what they've got available, and then you're going to match those products on Amazon to see if they've got winners or not. That's what online arbitrage is. That's what retail arbitrage is. That's what wholesale is. You're looking at the supplier end and you're looking on Amazon. But there is that reverse engineering sourcing method where you're looking on Amazon and seeing whether you could get a supplier for it. It is a more of an advanced way, and I call that like more of a supplementary way of sourcing, only simply because if for example you're trying to build your business by looking at other people's products, let's say you have access to 5 to 10 different sellers and you're just looking on their store every day and you're trying to reverse engineer where they're finding their products from. In my opinion, and I don't know what your thoughts are on this, Andy, but in my opinion, you're always a step behind. You're always relying on you haven't got the control because you're trying to source from what you're seeing. So it's always better to find a supplier like a wholesaler or use online arbitrage, use retail arbitrage, sell books, whatever you're into right now. But that's not to say that reverse engineering isn't a very, very good method, because it is. It is. And what you just said there about looking at the barcode, looking at the information, looking at the distributor, manufacturer, etc., love it. That's gold.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. Now, you may find that that only 1 out of 5 people reply to you, but I've got very solid results out of doing that, and actually found some very difficult to find suppliers as a result of doing that. So it's an incredibly powerful method and shouldn't be overlooked. But yes, it's not the natural way around I would do it. But if for some reason something sticks in your mind and it's a really, really strong selling product and there's very little competition, and you just stumble over it and think, this is amazing, I really want it, then try and find the barcode. If it's that good, Sean, then order it. Just order the product on Amazon, get it, and then you can get the barcode and all the details on there. If you can't physically lay your hands on it, then order it from Amazon from the guy that you think is doing very well. There's one way of doing it. excuse me, if you're in a shop and you find it in that particular item for some whatever reason you think you want to sell that item, take a sneaky picture of the barcode with your phone, and then you can then zoom in when you get home and have a look at the details and Google those details afterwards. But especially with wholesale, it's going the extra mile. It's finding these little ways that makes such a massive difference to finding, because if you spend that little bit of time and find those suppliers that not every man and his dog is going up against, you'll find the better supplies, you'll find the better products, and ultimately you'll have a better, more established business that isn't constantly chasing its tail, in my opinion. So these sort of techniques are worth spending the extra time on. So yeah, give it a go and see how you get on, Sean.
There's also there's a Chrome extension called Price Blink. Have you heard of that before, Andy?
No, I don't know that one.
No, there's a Chrome extension called Price Blink. Basically, what it does is if you're on a particular item, it'll have like a bar on the top, sort of saying you can potentially get this product cheaper here or there.
Yeah.
It's not something that it's something that I'm fully aware of. We do have it installed in our business. Not entirely sure exactly how good it is, but check it out. It's another potential tool that you can utilize in your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds cool. I like it. Alrighty. So how are we getting on the chat? I haven't looked in the chat a minute ago. Luke says, Andy, when you said Google, it set off the Google Assistant on my phone and stopped the show. Sorry. 21st century problems. Hey, Luke, that's funny. I might have said okay and then Google shortly afterwards. So I've said it again now. So I'll try not to say those two words too close together. You end up. What else can we do? Can we mess? You haven't got Alexa, have you, in the warehouse, Kev? Should we see if we can annoy everyone's Alexas?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I better not do that. You get in trouble.
Alexa, set an alarm for 4 a.m.
Oh,
okay,
you could have some,
okay.
You could have so much fun, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could.
Excellent. Okay, right. Let's stop saying okay.
There was another question here, Andy, from Mark. Mark Clay. Is Mark on the chat tonight? I think I saw him. Yes. Mark. Yeah, Mark's in. This is a question from Mark. Need advice for labeling pallets up. Case packed items, no commingling. So all items are labeled up and in cases. Once the shipping plan is in place, does it need further labels on the exterior of each box, or is it a case of pallet labels on each side of the pallet after wrapping? Thanks.
Okay. Case packed items, no commingling. So all items laid off once. If I'm understanding, Mark, what you mean, then yes, each box will need a label just after you've got your shipping labels, as you said, on each side of the pallet, and then each box will need its own label. If I've understood your question right, then yes, that's what you need.
There'll be an option when you're creating your when you're making up the pallet. You'll be printing off for the labels for the units, and then you've got your case labels as well. They're like the 4 labels per A4 sheet, and then they go onto each case, and then you've got a label then on each side of the pallet as well. So I think that's what he was referring to.
Yeah, Mark's just said that's right. Just had differing advice from people. Yeah, pretty sure. Yeah, that's what you need to do, Mark. Yeah, so you shouldn't have a problem with that setup. That should be what you need to do. If you're just starting your first pallets, keep us posted how you're getting on. Exciting times if you're getting to pallet level volume. It's always exciting to see. So yeah, good luck. Keep us posted on how you're getting on.
Absolutely, love it. And that was the questions that we picked up this week. So if you guys have got any questions whatsoever in the chat, we're going to make it sort of like an open forum, I guess, then, Andy.
Yeah,
Unless you've got
absolutely.
any questions, Andy.
Have I got any questions? Yeah, I should actually put some questions of my own down. That would be fun, isn't it? We should have some questions from us too. But no, I don't have any. I was actually going to say this to you the other day. Actually, it always ended up falling down as an hour. That's how long this show used to take. But I definitely think it's more of a concise world now. If we can get out there, if we can see the news, if we can sort of shout out to people, chat with the community, and get some decent questions answered. If we've got everything done in the time, then there's not necessarily an issue in sort of finishing on the 40-minute mark. I don't think we need to hang around necessarily just to get to an hour. So yeah, let's see. Having said that, we'll probably get another 15 questions, but yeah, let's see what we've got. Simon's just jumped in. Hi guys, sorry to be so late. Just back from visiting my new 3 days old great niece. Oh my word, that's awesome! Congratulations,
Fantastic.
Simon. We'll catch up tomorrow. No problem. Thanks for letting us know. Congratulations. That's really.
And I think Simon's coming to the conference, right, Andy?
Absolutely. Yep. Pretty sure. Yeah, it would be good to see Simon again. It's always a pleasure to catch up and talking about the UK Reseller Conference. Kev, I'm glad you brought that one up. That's something we could talk about. I've got the early bird pricing is going away very shortly. So if you're interested in joining us, myself, Kev, Simon as well, Matt Webley who's also in the chat, Matt speaking, Natalie Cromie speaking, Luke as well, who's also in the chat, Luke Pastor, and obviously Reezy Resales from California are all going to be at the London Vanderbilt Hotel on the 27th of July of this month. So not long to go, 3 weeks to go now, and the early bird discount is going away. So if you're interested in joining us, check out the UK. The address is ukresellerconference.com. I think I've got that right. I really hope I got that right. But check that out, that domain, UK Reseller Conference, because the price will be going up shortly. And yeah, I'm so looking forward to that. I've said it before, I've said it many times. It's the highlight of my year, getting together with everyone, helping people build, on a level and an amount of people that we can literally, on a first name basis, work with you to see where the bottlenecks are in your business and physically help everyone go away with a business plan to help them with their own business. And, I know you're the same, Kev, seeing real results and being able to really move the needle in people's businesses is as satisfying as it gets, isn't it?
100%. I mean, this is why we do this in our spare time. This is why we just love it. It's just fantastic to be able to work with and try to support. I mean, we're all in this together. It's something that I truly believe that this opportunity that we have, it's so massive, it's so amazing that every single one of us can become multi-millionaires. It's just as simple as that. And doing things like this when you're in a live setting and you get to meet other people in real life, this is fantastic. I absolutely love the fact that we can hang out virtually from around the world. We've got people from around the country and people tune in from all parts of the world. I need to probably check to see where everybody's tuning in from. But this is it's fantastic, but there's nothing quite like being in person and having a drink together, having some breakfast the next morning together. It's fantastic. And last year when I went, this is something that I did want to share actually. Last year when I went, met amazing people then, and hopefully this year we'll meet some new people and some returning faces and things. But what I love is the stories of the evolution of what happens from year on year. I met a great guy called Sean. Sean, right? Sean McLean.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Sean's coming back.
Yeah. Met Sean last year, and he's caught up with him a few weeks back now. He's doing fantastic in his business. He's now got his own virtual assistants. He's now really building his business up. So I'm just looking forward to catching up with him again, as well as catching up with Simon and being able to say hello to Simon and you as well, Andy, just to be there as well. So
Yeah.
that's what we do this for. I love it.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Yeah. It is. There's a lot of self-interest in these sort of things as well, because it gives me an excuse to catch up with Kev. It gives me an excuse to catch up with Matt and Luke and Natalie and everyone, including the attendees of the conference as well. Reezy is always such a great guy to be around, and it gives me a lot of pleasure to invite him back year after year. He's got so much to give, so much knowledge and passion for our reseller community. So I've just double checked. It is ukresellerconference.com, all one word, if you want to check out all the information and tickets, booking for tickets as well. I'd appreciate you check it out, and hopefully you can come and join us, because it is a lot of fun.
It is a lot of fun. Great hotel too. Simon says, I may be late, but at least he's hit the like button, unlike some. What we like for likes. If you guys are watching us live right now, if you could press the little button that looks a little bit like this, and that would be fantastic. Thank you.
Thanks, Simon, for dropping in and reminding us all about that. That would be very nice of you to do that. And I think there's been some nuggets dropped this evening. So if you've enjoyed any of those nuggets, including Sean's live stream from his garden in his van, then it's got to be worth a like. So thank you in advance for that. And excellent. And Luke said can't wait to speak there as well. So yeah, looking forward to catching up with Luke as well. Really good guy. And it is honestly, because it's quite a, I wouldn't say isolated, but we're a community, but we're a virtual community. So literally getting together and sitting and relaxing and chatting, the social part of it is fantastic as well. So I'm really looking forward to seeing everyone, returning faces like Sean, who's just he's come, at least I think this will be his third time he's coming, and it's the sort of thing, and there are definitely, I think Simon's been before as well. Once you come and you realize the power and what it can do for your business, where you're physically somewhere where you can ask questions, get responses back, and get real insight into your business and really move the needle, it then almost becomes a no-brainer. It's like, I'm coming back, So in fact, last time, I think the last thing I said to Sean, in fact, when he said, thanks very much, it was a great day, got a load out of it, I think he shook my hand. He said, I'll see you next year. So he was that confident. So it's good. It's great to see. And it's the reason why I do it, because it's just to create a forum for people to come together and learn and build as a group, and more speakers than ever this year. I
need to work out what I'm going to be really talking about, Andy.
That'd be good. Yeah.
That'd be good. Yeah.
That'd be nice. But the thing is, I have absolutely no doubt that when you bring it, it's going to come with the fire, because it always does. It's always amazing. And I've literally am usually mouth agape at the knowledge bombs you bring in the live. So you may not be, but I'm confident in what you're going to be bringing, because I know you're a very learned gentleman in our industry. So got no.
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking of maybe costumes. Maybe I turn up with as a Spartan warrior with my shield, with my sword, ready to go to battle.
Do a war dance. I'd like to see a war dance. That would be quite cool.
That's right. Yeah, let's do it.
Why not? But, be careful what you say. You may be challenged.
That's it. We'll have the old smoke machine out. We'll have the fireworks. I'm not entirely sure the Van der Veld Hotel would allow us to have the fireworks and the smoke machine.
There may be some health and safety issues. I don't really want to get sued for setting fire to a Georgian building, a historic Georgian building in the centre of London. I don't think that would go down too well. But with a tape gun, Noha says the Spartan dance, but with a tape gun instead of a spear. That would be quite good.
Love it.
Yeah, very cool. We've got some ideas now. We're going to have to put that into practice. I tell you what, the social media implications of Kev doing a war dance with a tape gun, that you'd be able to dine out on that for months afterwards. I think you'd be all over Instagram and Facebook.
It's my ticket. It's my ticket to the dreamland, the promised land.
Happening already. I'm ordering the grass skirt as we speak, Kev.
Oh God! Only on the Reseller Show.
Absolutely. This is what happens when we run out of questions. We end up getting a little bit off track. But yeah, no, looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and yeah, it's a beautiful location. If you can get there, then you can make a weekend of it. There's all of the hotels and the parks and everything are all right directly right there. The Natural History Museum, the Victoria and Albert Museum, Science Museum is just down the road. Beautiful parkland, and yeah, it's a lovely place for a venue as well. So yeah, it's a good place to make the most of it if you can make it. So it'd be great to see if you.
And if you do make it, I'm going to be traveling down on the Friday, so I don't know what anybody's plans are on the day before, but if you're staying maybe at the hotel, we should just sort of have a bit of a meet up, not too much of a drink because we've got a whole day planned the next day, but maybe go out for some lunch or whatever. Who knows?
Absolutely, yeah. Let us know if you're coming. Let us know what time you're planning to be there, and it would be it would be good to meet up and definitely do that for sure. Alrighty.
Let's do it.
I think that pretty much wraps it up for today. Really, I think we've covered a lot.
I think it does. Yeah.
Luke just dropped one in there. I have a question. Are we going to the casino again? I have no appetite to go back to that casino. I don't know about you, Kev. And it's your fault, Luke, that we ended up there. But anyway, that's another story.
Yeah, that is a story that we probably shouldn't share online, Luke. So I'll keep that between ourselves.
That was the most depressing place I've ever been to in my life. I tell you, that was an education on its own. But
I mean, to me, and I guess we could wrap up on this, but to me, I'm thinking to myself, I'm from up north. The town I live in, it's all grey. I don't see much, right? There's nothing here. So when we're in London, I'm loving life. It's absolutely amazing in London. And then we talk about going to a casino, and I'm like, yes, please, this is fantastic. I'm picturing Vegas. I'm picturing like the Bellagio. I'm picturing like the fountain. I'm picturing it all. I'm thinking we're going to walk in there and it's going to be like, there's going to be people. It's going to be bouncing. The atmosphere is fantastic. We're going to have a fantastic experience. I'm already thinking to myself, by the time I get home and tell Kylie about this, she's going to be like, oh my God, we've got to go there again. And we walk in, and this place has not aged since the 70s. And there's people, there's no music, there is no atmosphere. It's so depressing. It was horrendous.
The atmosphere that was there was one of soulful desperation more than any sort of interest or energy. But yes, it was quite a sad atmosphere, I must admit. Yeah, I think some of the people were still there from the 70s. I don't think they've gone home. But
I think they're still there now, a year later.
I think there's no days or nights. It's just the same place, no natural sunlight, just still sat there quietly gambling their life away. So yes, thanks, Luke, for sharing that with us and for taking us there on your unrelenting search for a beer after hours. But, you've got to say that Luke's a very driven guy, and you can see why he's done so well in his industry, because when he wants something, he goes after it regardless.
Love it. Absolutely love it.
All right. So on that bombshell, I think we should probably wrap it up. We've had a decent one this evening. I've certainly enjoyed myself as always. So thanks guys. As always, thanks for hitting that like button. We know you love us, reminding you every week. So thanks for doing that, and thanks for joining us as always, for coming along. And we'll see you this time next week, all being well.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one. Speak to you guys soon.
See you later.